Most people believe that a 1% fee doesn't sound like much. They see 1% and think it's only $1 for every 100. But here's the truth that the 401(n) industry has spent billions hiding from you. A 1% fee doesn't take 1% of your returns. Over 30 years, a 1% fee eats nearly 30% of your ending balance. A 5% fee eats over 40%. That's not a fee. That's a silent partner taking nearly half your retirement. And the worst part? You're probably paying these fees right now without even knowing it. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll learn exactly where these fees hide, how to calculate what they're costing you, and the step-by-step process to switch your 401(n) to low-cost index funds, even if your plan doesn't offer them. You could save hundreds of thousands of dollars without changing how much you save or how long you work. My name is your name, and today we're going to stop the silent robbery of your retirement. Let me start with a story that will make you sick. A few years ago, a couple named Tom and Lisa came to me for retirement advice. Tom had a 401 from his job that he'd been contributing to for 20 years. He had about $250,000 in the account. He thought he was doing well. I asked him to send me his latest statement. I found that his 401(n) was invested in actively managed mutual funds with an average expense ratio of 1.4%. On top of that, his plan charged an administrative fee of 0.6% per year. Total annual cost, 2.0%. If he continued with that plan, he would lose over $200 in fees, more than half of his current balance. I showed him the math. His jaw dropped. We rolled his old 401(a) into an IRA with Vanguard, where he now pays 0.04% in fees. That one move saved him over $10,000 a year in fees. Over 20 years, that's over $400,000. Tom told me, "I feel like I just got a raise I never knew I was missing." Tom's story is not rare. The average 401(n) plan charges between 0.5% and 2.0% in total fees, including fund expense ratios, administrative fees, record-keeping fees, and sometimes advisor fees. According to a 2025 study by the Center for American Progress, nearly 70% of 401(n) plans charge fees that are above the Department of Labor's reasonable benchmark, and most participants have no idea they're paying anything at all. The fees are hidden in fine print, buried in quarterly statements, and never explained in plain English. The 401(n) industry is designed to be opaque. Your job is to shine a light. Let me break down the 4 types of fees that could be eating your retirement. Fee number 1. The expense ratio, the annual cost of owning a mutual fund or ETF. This is the most well-known fee. It's the percentage of your assets that the fund manager charges each year to run the fund. The national average expense ratio for actively managed mutual funds is about 1.1%. For index funds, it's about 0.10% to 0.30%, and for the best ones, as low as 0.01% to 0.04%. The difference between a 1% expense ratio and a 0.05% expense ratio over 30 years is massive. On a $100,000 portfolio, a 1% fee costs you about $100,000 in lost growth over 30 years. On a $500,000 portfolio, it's over $500,000. But here's the dirty secret. Your 401(a) likely offers index funds, but they may be hidden. Many plans default you into an expensive target date fund or actively managed fund because the plan provider gets a kickback from the fund company. These are called revenue sharing arrangements. The plan provider says they're free to the employer, but they make money by steering you into high-cost funds. You have the right to choose lower-cost options if they exist, and if they don't, you have the right to ask your employer to add them. Fee number 2, administrative and record-keeping fees, the hidden charge for running the plan. Asterisk, every 401 plan has costs to maintain the platform, process contributions, provide statements, and comply with regulations. Some employers pay these costs directly. Many pass them on to employees. These fees are often charged as a percentage of assets, typically 0.1% to 0.5%, or as a flat dollar amount per participant, say $30 to $50 per year. They are often buried in your quarterly statement under a line item like administrative fee or record-keeping fee or simply other expenses. I've seen plans charge 1% or more just for administration. That's robbery. The Department of Labor requires 401(n) plans to disclose all fees in a document called the 408 BOP2 fee disclosure. You can request this from your plan administrator. If they can't produce it or it's confusing, that's a red flag. Fee number 3, investment advisory fees, the cost of having a professional pick your funds. Asterisk, some 401 plans offer managed account services. For an extra fee, a professional will manage your investments for you. This fee is typically 0.3% to 1.0% of assets per year, on top of all other fees. Studies show that these managed accounts rarely outperform a simple target date index fund, and in many cases, they simply put you in the same expensive funds you could have chosen yourself. Avoid these unless you have a very complex situation and the fee is low. Fee number 4, 12B1 fees and sub-transfer agency fees, the kickbacks that line the pockets of the plan provider. Asterisk, these are the most hidden fees of all. A 12B1 fee is a marketing and distribution fee that some mutual funds charge, typically 0.25% to 1.0%. This fee is often used to pay the plan provider for including the fund in the plan. In effect, the fund company is bribing the plan provider to put you in an expensive fund. These fees are not illegal, but they are deeply conflicted. If your plan offers funds with 12B1 fees, you are almost certainly paying more than you should. Look for funds with no 12B1 fees. These are called no-load funds or institutional class shares. The math. How fees destroy your retirement. Asterisk, let me show you the compounding effect of fees. Assume you're 30 years old, you have $50,000 saved, and you add $10,000 per year for 35 years until age 65. You earn a 7% average annual return before fees. Scenario A, low-cost index funds with total fees of 0.1%. Your ending balance, about $1,570,000. Scenario B, average actively managed fund with total fees of 1%. Your ending balance, about $1,200,000. Scenario C, expensive 401 with total fees of 1.60%. Common in small plans. Your ending balance, about $1,050,000. That's a difference of over $500,000 between the cheapest and most expensive scenario. That's a house. That's a college education. That's an extra decade of retirement. And you didn't change how much you saved or how long you worked. You just changed the fees. Now, let me show you the percentage of your portfolio eaten by fees over time. At 0.10% fee, you lose about 3% of your final balance to fees over 30 years. At 0.50% fees, you lose about 14%. You lose about 26%. At 1.50% fees, you lose about 36%. At 2% fee, you lose about 45%. Nearly half your retirement gone to fees. That's the silent robbery. How to find out what you're paying, a step-by-step audit. Asterisk. You need to do a fee audit on your 401 today. Here's how. Step 1. Log into your 401 account. Find your most recent quarterly statement. Look for a section called Fees and Expenses or Plan Charges. It may be on page 2 or 3. You're looking for the total annual operating expenses as a percentage of your account balance. Step 2. If you can't find it, request a copy of the plan's 408B2 fee disclosure from your HR department. By law, they must provide it. This document will list every fee charged to the plan and to participants. Step 3. Look at each fund you own. Under each fund name, you'll see an expense ratio. Write them down. Also, look for any separate administrative or record-keeping fee. Add the expense ratio of each fund plus the administrative fee. That's your total annual cost. Step 4. Compare that number to the industry benchmark. A good 401(n) plan should have total fees under 0.50%, ideally under 0.30%. If you're paying more than 1.0%, you're being overcharged. If you're paying more than 1.50%, you're being robbed. How to switch to low-cost funds, even if your plan doesn't offer them. Now, the good news. You have options. Here's the priority order. First, check if your plan offers any low-cost index funds. Look for funds with S&P 500, Total Stock Market, Russell 2000, or Total Bond in the name. Also, look for index in the name. Many plans offer Vanguard, Fidelity, or BlackRock index funds. If you find one, simply transfer your existing balance into that fund and change your future contributions to go into that fund. That's it. You've just lowered your fees. Second, if your plan does not offer any low-cost index funds, you can still do an in-service rollover if your plan allows it. Some plans allow you to roll your 401(n) money into an IRA while you're still working. Not all plans do, but it's worth asking. Check your summary plan description or call the plan administrator. If allowed, you can roll your 401 balance into a traditional IRA at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. There, you can invest in index funds with expense ratios as low as 0.03%. You keep the tax benefits and you get full control over your investments. Third, if your plan does not allow in-service rollovers and does not offer low-cost funds, you can still advocate for change. Talk to your HR department. Show them the fee comparison. Show them how much employees are losing. Request that they add a few low-cost index funds to the plan. The Department of Labor requires plan fiduciaries to act in the best interest of participants. Paying 1.5% fees when low-cost options exist may be a breach of fiduciary duty. Employers have been sued for this, and employees have won. You have power. Fourth, for future contributions, if your 401(n) is terrible, consider investing in a Roth IRA first. You can contribute up to $7,000 per year, 2026 limit, to a Roth IRA. At a low-cost brokerage, you can buy any index fund you want. Only after maxing the Roth IRA should you go back to the 401(n) for the tax deduction and employer match. Even with high fees, the employer match is usually worth it. Real example: how one employee saved $200,000. Let me tell you about a client named Susan. She worked for a small company with a 401(n) plan that had total fees of 1.9%. She had $150,000 in the plan. She was 40 years old, planning to work another 25 years. I helped her request an in-service rollover. Her plan allowed it. She rolled her $150,000 into a traditional IRA at Vanguard, where she invested in a target date index fund with an expense ratio of 0.08%. Over 25 years, with $10,000 annual contributions, the difference in fees was over $200,000. Susan not only saved her retirement, she added 2 extra years of income to it, all from one afternoon of paperwork. What about target date funds? Are they worth it? Target date funds are popular because they're simple. You pick the year closest to your retirement, and the fund automatically adjusts its stock-bond mix over time. But here's the catch. Some target date funds are actively managed with high fees, 0.5% to 0.8% or more. Others are index-based with low fees, 0.08% to 0.1%. In your 401(n), you need to check which type you have. Look for index in the fund name. If you have an actively managed target date fund, You can likely find a cheaper alternative by building your own simple portfolio of index funds. For example, a mix of S&P 500 fund, international fund, and bond fund. You can rebalance once a year. It takes 10 minutes. The 401n hidden fee checklist, things to look for. Let me give you a quick checklist of red flags. If you see any of these, you're likely overpaying. 1. Your plan offers only actively managed funds, no index funds. 2. Your plan has less than 10 investment options. Limited choice often means higher fees. 3. Your plan's target date funds have expense ratios above 0.30%. 4. You see a line item for administrative fee that is a percentage of assets, not a flat fee. 5. Your plan charges a wrap fee or managed account fee on top of fund expenses. 6. You cannot find a fee disclosure document easily. 7. Your employer is very small, under 50 employees. Small plans often have higher fees. The legal landscape, your rights under ERISA. Asterisk, under ERISA, your 401(n)(a) plan fiduciaries have a legal duty to act solely in the interest of participants and beneficiaries. That means they must offer a diversified mix of investments, ensure that fees are reasonable, and monitor plan investments. If your plan charges excessive fees or lacks low-cost options, your employer could be in violation of ERISA. In recent years, courts have ruled in favor of employees in several high-profile 401 fee lawsuits. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to demand low-cost options. Use your voice. Asterisk, how to switch today. A step-by-step action plan. Here is exactly what you need to do right after this video. Step 1. Log into your 401 account. Find the expense ratio for every fund you own. Write them down. Step 2. Request the 408 DAP 2 fee disclosure from your HR department or plan administrator. If they don't know what that is, that's a red flag. Step 3. Calculate your total annual fee percentage. Add the expense ratio of your funds plus any administrative fee. If the total is above 0.50%, you have work to do. Step 4. Look for low-cost index funds within your plan. If you find any, exchange your current holdings into those funds. Also change your future contribution elections. Step 5. If your plan has no low-cost index funds, check if it allows in-service rollovers. Call the plan administrator and ask, does my plan allow me to roll my existing 401 balance into an IRA while I'm still employed? If yes, open a traditional IRA at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Initiate the rollover. It's a simple process. Step 6. If your plan does not allow in-service rollovers and has no low-cost funds, write a polite email to your HR department. Attach a one-page summary of this video. Ask them to add a few low-cost index funds, such as a Vanguard S&P 500 index fund, a total international stock fund, and a total bond fund. Cite the Department of Labor's guidance on fee reasonableness. Step 7. For future contributions, max out your Roth IRA first, up to $7 min per year, before putting more into your 401n beyond the employer match. This gives you control over fees and investment choices. Step 8. If you're self-employed, open a solo 401 at Vanguard or Fidelity. You have full control over fees and investments. You can invest in the same low-cost index funds as an IRA. A final word, don't let perfectionism stop you. Some of you might be thinking, but my 401 is terrible and I can't do anything about it. I guess I'm stuck. You're not stuck. Even in a bad 401n, you can still invest enough to get the employer match. That match is an immediate 100% return on your contributions, which far outweighs even a 2% fee, so never give up the match. But beyond the match, prioritize your Roth IRA and advocate for change. Your employer may not know that high fees are a problem. You can be the one who educates them. I want to leave you with a story from a viewer named David. David worked for a small manufacturing company Their 401n had fees over 2%. He talked to his boss. His boss didn't know. David printed out a fee comparison from the Department of Labor website. The boss called the plan provider. Within 3 months, the plan added Vanguard index funds and lowered the administrative fee. David saved thousands. He told me, I was scared to speak up, but then I realized it was my money and I had to protect it. You can be David. Your retirement is too important to leave to chance. Here is your action plan for today. Do not put this off. First, log into your 401a account. Find the expense ratios of your funds. Calculate your total fee percentage. Second, comment below. My total 401n fee is 3%. Be honest. I'll reply to the first 100 comments with personalized advice. Third, if your fee is over 0.50%, take one action from the list above. Exchange into a cheaper fund, request an in-service rollover, or email HR. Fourth, share this video with a coworker. The more people who know, the more pressure on employers to change. If this video saved you from losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, hit the like button. It helps others who are being silently robbed. Subscribe and turn on notifications. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to teach your teenager about investing, a 3-hour crash course that builds wealth for life. The sneakiest fee is the one you never see, but now you know where to look. Go look and then go fix it. I'll see you in the next video.